I want to yap about The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. This is Rachel Gillig's newest work that's coming out in May. If you loved the Shepherd King duology, One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns, you're going to love this. It has all the same gothic fantasy vibes that Rachel Gillig is known for, with amazing commentary and undercurrents on it. Overall, I would rate this 4.5 out of 5. I think that the character development is amazing. I think that the commentary that underlies this story is great. I love the romance that's underneath it. I just wish the middle part was a little bit quicker. The pacing of it was a little bit slow for me at times. However, it leaves on a wild cliffhanger in literally like the last 2 pages. And I think everyone's going to love this. So the book starts with the point of view of a girl. She's what is called in this realm a diviner. And diviners are sort of like the intermediary between this realm's gods and just normal people. And so people come to the diviners at this big cathedral where it's sort of their like magical origin story comes from there. And they pay the diviners money to tell their fates. And the way they do that is by tasting their blood and then drowning in this like magical water. And from that, they see in turn a vision of each of their 6 gods, who gives them either a favorable sign or a disfavorable sign. And they use these signs to tell the fate of the person that they're divining for. And it starts with one day, the new king comes with this sort of ragtag group of knights to have his fate divined. And all of his omens are bad. And the last time this happened, they killed the king on sight for it. And so she gets sort of caught up in this scheme, because all of a sudden, just after the king comes and all these bad things start happening, all of the diviners start going missing. And these are girls that she's grown up with, that she's known like her whole life. They were orphans that were brought into this like religious sect together to become diviners. And she wants to set out to find her friends. And so she joins the king and this ragtag group of knights on their quest, because it helps her to go find her friends. And it along the way, so much stuff happens. I mean, one night in particular, they become very fond of each other. It is a slow burn, so don't be expecting anything too spicy, but I do think that the story that is being told is one that everyone needs to think about. It talks about religion and what does religion mean as an individual versus what is it used for in society. It talks about the histories we have of ourselves, of our country, of who tells history. History is often written by the people that it benefits and by the winners, not necessarily by what is true. It has a lot to do with classism, so it creates this great commentary around you need to question the things that you're being told. And I think that's a wonderful commentary. One of my favorite things about this book is that the FMC, who we only know as Diviner number 6, is described as being very feminine and very soft. If you've read Rachel Gillig before, you're familiar with this. Her FMCs are not the witty, snarky, no one can tell me anything, insert training montage here kind of FMCs. Diviner number 6 is still described as being very feminine, very soft, very quiet, almost, people perceive her as passive. But inside, she has this internal strength and this kind of quiet steel that she will fight for the people who matter to her, and she will do whatever needs to be done in order to protect those people that we see in the cliffhanger like come to life so crazy. And also she's described as being larger. Like the way that she's romanticized as being a bigger girl is something that I love. Like, normally all our FMCs and like fantasy books are like, I have the bones of a bird and I was just so little. It's just so crazy that I was so little, and she's not described as that. She actually was a stonemason at the like religious cathedral, whatever, where they all divined. And so she's described as having a lot of muscle and described as being bigger, and it's romanticized. And I love that. Let me just die. And Diviner number 6, her character development throughout the course of this story is crazy. She really has to do a lot of like deconstructing of all the things that she's been told about the world, about people out in the world, about herself, about her place in society, and really has this beautiful like sort of coming into herself throughout the story that I think every young woman everywhere can relate to. And so I encourage everyone to go ahead and pre-order your copy. It comes out in May. This is going to be an instant hit. Everyone is going to be talking about this. Go pre-order it. The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig.